Okay, y'all, it is Saturday, January 25th, and I don't know if this is a part three from last night. Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's go. All right, y'all, I am recording this one before I upload the drafts from last night. Because I just wanted to mix in a little more, I don't want to say like positive headlines, but a little more of why I'm holding out, right? And keeping my anger on the back simmer with certain people in certain parties, and some of the things that I'm seeing. And then also reminding y'all that we are past the point of being able to ask to verify certain things with like mainstream. Okay. If you haven't figured out by now that it is all controlled, it's all owned by them, including Google. Okay. Couple days ago, if you Googled the presidents, they didn't have Joe Biden on there. That was intentional. Okay. So we are watching in real time. You couldn't even search Democratic or left-leaning search terms on Meta. The tags were taken away. So if you are aware that they are trying to stop the flow of information, then you should really, I know we want to try to make sure information is accurate. That's important. It is. However, we are at the point where you can't just say, I tried to Google it and I can't find it. Or how come I'm not seeing it on TV? There's a lot of things you're not seeing on TV because they don't want you to see it. The international community is marching for us, y'all. The international world is having marches in multiple countries because they are scared and worried for us. Okay? They are not showing that here. Why? Why do you think the regime doesn't want us to see that countries around the world are having protests in our name because they see it? Don't forget that just because our media refused to acknowledge the evidence that was absolutely there until after, now we're starting to see it. Now we're starting to see news articles pointing out the manipulation and the irregularities and people calling for some form of investigation. But that's been seen internationally. Multiple countries, the G7 countries and others could all see it. And multiple nations have intel and it's about to come out. Now, the thing I said this morning about the TikTok getting banned in the UK and why that for me is a little more hopium, even though it sounds kind of weird, is because we already know that the UK, the EU has been very firm on propaganda and misinformation via social media. The EU, countries in the EU, banned Twitter because they knew Muscatina was using it to spread propaganda on behalf of Ruski candidates, okay? Far-right mustache candidates, obviously, right? He's still being very public about that. So they banned his app, and that's one of the things he keeps threatening to want to pull America from NATO over. He wants his app back in the EU. He wants to be able to spread, schmozzy propaganda everywhere around the world and tell everyone that his ideals are on the rise everywhere with his millions of bots, right? Him and the talk. And Meta, right? All of these platforms are filled with bots that just echo conservative talking points. They're not real people, but there's tens of millions of them. And that's the point. That's the tool. They want that spread across the world. So no matter where you are, when you log into your social media, you see millions of people supporting people that don't actually have that support. And that's a trick they're getting from Ruski, right? Dude has sat in that seat for years, getting more and more votes when his popularity goes down in town because it's the same thing, all right? So, and it's not us making a conspiracy because dude admitted it, all right? They've both admitted it multiple times. I don't want to hear about how, no, they've said it multiple times. Anyway, so I can't find the video now. And I saw it. It was a gentleman from the UK who was saying they're banning TikTok on February 25th. I'm just not sure how I feel about that. Is this them stemming information? Like, he was kind of upset. And I saved it and now it's gone. Like, not just like, oh, taken down, like I cannot find it. Like the account disappeared. So they are definitely stemming that. And it's not lost on me that the EU or the UK, I'm sorry, is set to ban the Talk app just a week after they revealed themselves as Red Hat. They revealed themselves as one of the platforms. They actually not revealed, confirmed, because Romania already called out the Talk app and said not they, but the algorithm was being used by Chinese and Ruski assets to spread propaganda in favor of the Ruski-backed candidate, which ended up winning, and they have to redo their test in Romania, okay? I can't even say those words on the talk without the video coming down. That's how much they want to suppress that. And it's intel. The country, their intelligence have proof of this. Okay. So this is another reason why I'm like, I feel like I'm just waiting, because multiple nations have evidence of spaces like Twitter and the talk being used to spread information to influence elections in multiple countries. And when you do something like that in a country that's protected by the G7 or NATO, you are then, it gives them the ability now to take some action and send some backup. You know what I'm saying? They can now consider that as an attack on one of their nations. Okay. So that is why folks like me are like, I'm holding out to the end of the month. Now, to be clear, I am not saying that by the end of the month, you're going to see a dude in cuffs. Okay. All I'm saying is by the end of the month, I think we're going to see some wheels start to turn. We're going to see some of those reports come out. We're going to see more international outrage. We're going to hear from these other nations that are ready to take some action and send backup. And hopefully at that point, we'll start to see Team Blue in Congress starting to speak up more and more. We're seeing it a little now, but I think once that other backup comes in, we're going to start seeing it. And don't forget, Jack Smith is at The Hague. And I don't think that's by accident. I'm pretty sure that probably has something to do with it as well, because he has a lot of information on a certain someone, a couple certain someones, and their attempts to influence things or overturn democracy. So that is why, those are the reasons why I'm like, I'm holding out. But just know that we have support. Okay. If you need a little extra hope, other than knowing that we have this community, we're not going anywhere and you cannot get rid of us, know that around the world, whether we see it on the TV or our apps or not, they're blocking it. They don't want us to see that. They don't want us to realize we have support. Massive international support. The people who like what's going on right now, okay, are just the billionaires, okay? The people that are being held in Congress, you realize that one of the investigations they stopped was on the phone hacking for all those politicians. And part of the suspicion is that they got information on people so that they could hold them to what they were supposed to do. So that could potentially be part of the reason why Team Red keeps falling in line with things that are absolutely going to destroy the country. It could be greed and it could be corruption. I believe those are factors too, but it could also be that some of them are being held hostage via dirt. And you know that that team would do that as well. So yeah, just keep in mind that you're not going to find our support on mainstream media. Even on social media, they're going to suppress it. They're going to block it because they want us to feel alone and isolated and that no one has our back and that the whole world is turning just as red as they are and that we need to catch up. Okay. And you see the poison that they are releasing in our country in order to encourage their followers, who are a minority, to start acting out, to start getting loud, to start causing problems. And they are, right? They're looking for black women to fire. They're making lists of all the black women they want fired from their workplaces. The same people that told you that the racism didn't exist in the workplace are now making the list and congratulating themselves. The same people who said this is absolutely not a salute are now doing it on their work pages. I told y'all not to challenge them. You're like, do it on camera. And now they're all doing it, going, this is how I throw my heart. So, in 24 hours, they normalized a salute that's illegal in Germany. And the guy who did that here behind a presidential seal on an inauguration to make sure that everyone got the message and then tried to gaslight and say that's not what it was, went back to pushing for that same regime in Germany again, even though they're government already said, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you trying to put that guy in a seat here too. You already did it there, not here. You understand? Like, he's still doing it. And there are multiple countries, Germany's one of them, that have intel about it. And it's going to start coming out at the end of this month. I know we wanted sooner, but I have to think that there are reasons for the timeline. So that's why I'm saying I'm holding out to the end of the month before I go ham on some people. But, okay? All right? All right.